Nine. Hey, welcome to the Jaysquared Podcast. I'm Jesoma,
I'm J-Rock.
and we have an amazing show for you guys today. We've been gone for a while, and I know we said we weren't going to do that anymore, but things happen, so we're sorry.
Yeah.
But we're here now, so I mean that counts for something. Uh, how was your couple of weeks?
It's been very busy and hectic. A lot of work and traveling and coming back and having championship games and just trying to figure out life. So it's been a lot, but I'm glad that we're hitting the summer and the kids are gone.
Fucking, I get it.
Fucking kids, basically. How about you?
Man, it's been so interesting. Um, I've been learning a lot about value and how much
Oh,
like it's been so strange. Like some things have been happening lately that helped me realize that I realized my value. And it was such a beautiful thing, man. I've never been so clear with those things, like with setting boundaries, establishing my positions, and vocalizing. Like really it's been really magical lately.
that's
Yeah.
cute. Okay. All right.
So
So I do have this might be TMI, but
okay.
it's one of my hot takes that I've been wanting to ask you since we first started doing this.
Okay.
This is going to be like very TMI and, kind of disgusting for other people.
All right. Cool.
But did you know that there is a pooping app? So basically, this app is if you go to the bathroom and take a poop, depending on if you think it's like normal size, medium size, or whatever, you take a picture of it and compare it with other people on this app.
Wait, so you just compare shit?
Yes.
That's kinky, but I kind of get it.
So here's my take on it, because as someone who, again, TMI, as someone who uses the bathroom like a man, sometimes
Whoa, what?
sometimes
What the
I'm
fuck
just
did you say? No, say it over. Say
I'll
it over.
say it again. As someone who uses the bathroom like a man, because the things are like immense, I find myself saying, is this normal? Do other people poop like this? Why does it look like a banana? Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yep. So the pooping app for me, I haven't downloaded it. Don't know, but apparently
What do you
there is
mean?
one.
Don't know? Wait, are you considering this?
No comment.
J-Rock, you if you download a shitting app before you download TikTok, I'm gonna be really upset.
Oh.
Yo,
I'll have the fans vote for this one. Should I download TikTok before the pooping app? You let us know.
this is fucking insane. I there are so many things I didn't expect to happen, but this is like you're my best friend. Like, why do I not know that you're interested in this?
I'm not okay.
You're interested. You're literally thinking about it. You kind of have a.
I think for me it's more like because I don't think it's normal, but apparently it is normal. That's the part where I'm like, huh, other people are like this?
That's what interest is.
I know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I destroyed your brain. Yeah.
I'm stumped.
Yeah.
I'm stumped.
I did my job, y'all.
I encourage you. I encourage you.
I broke his brain, y'all.
You did.
Cool. I'm glad my hot take worked.
Thank you for that. That's
You're
a really
welcome.
good waker upper. But
Yeah.
I encourage you to go ahead and get your shitty booty app.
All right, let's get this shit popping then.
By the way, I stopped reading my book. I forgot to tell you. I need
What was
recommendations.
what was the name
So
of the book?
the Chocolate War. Uh, I I need book recommendations. So what happened was I was reading the book, and this is a book that was kind of like made a long ass time ago. So like maybe like 70s or some shit like that. And these are about like middle school kids or some shit like that. So the author just started talking about titties. He started talking about like teenager titties, like 14-year-old titties. Like he started talking about like 14,
Drake.
13, 14-year-old titties. Yes. So I was like, wait, what am I reading? So he talks about how this kid likes his girlfriend and is infatuated with her and her body and the way she wears her clothes. And he starts talking about how he starts talking about how like her titties. And I'm like, I'm not reading this. Like after the first time
Interesting.
after the first time you mentioned it, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna read this. But no, I don't know. I let it slide. I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just like a one-time occurrence. This kid's a creep or something like that. But then I'm like, this. Like he started like going into detail about how they are.
I
Like
don't care. That's fine. What is your style of books that you like to read?
I'm fine with that. Like I'm fine with that. It's just that it made me feel weird because they were little kids.
That's not what I asked.
Oh,
What
okay.
is your genre of books that you like
I
to
don't
read?
have one. I don't read. I don't have a genre.
Well, y'all send everything except for like child
Kitty
pornography.
porn? Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
send me kitty
literally.
porn books,
Do not
please.
send that.
So, and then like last thing about it, uh, I was trying to like understand, and I was like, okay, this is way too fucking creepy. And also,
Hmm.
I challenged myself because I was like, I can't keep reading this book because if I can't bring myself to watch Euphoria, how the fuck am I gonna read a book about kids
We
and
are
titties? Like,
foreshadowing so much right now.
oh, yeah.
Yep.
So, getting into sports and entertainment, we are on fire right now. When it comes to sports and entertainment, we are in the prime. I didn't guess any of this throughout 2024, but
We are being fed.
this sports and entertainment, you're doing your thing. And the thing that I love about it the most is that none of this shit's planned. It's not like we're going like, oh yeah, we know this movie's coming out, we know these shows are coming. No, this is just random shit just happening, bro. And
Bangers coming out.
it's the greatest thing ever. The greatest thing ever. So let's start it off with the fighting community. So we all
Bro,
know.
bro, hold up. Before you even go, we lost 118 to 84.
I don't want.
Continue.
Did
I'll
some,
talk about the Heat in a second. Just like
we'll
continue.
get there. We'll get there. We can't do this anymore. What's the point? You get me? So let's start off with fighting.
Mm-hmm.
First off, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Now, the reason why I'm getting into this now, don't get me wrong, there have been some amazing fights that have been happening. Like Alex Pereira in MMA has been dominating, trailblazing people. It's been awesome. But this is interesting because of what we thought was going to happen. So Devin Haney is a super accomplished boxer, and so is Ryan Garcia. They used to fight each other in the amateur boxing, but this is the first time they came head to head in the professional boxing world. Now, there's so many layers to this. Everybody, Ryan Garcia single-handedly carried this fight. He wanted to fight. He carried the promotion by talking about him being crazy, pretty much just saying things like, oh, Illuminati, this isn't that, just drumming up people so they could go ahead and say, oh man, this guy's gonna get knocked out. He's gonna go in there and he's not even in his right mind. I don't think he should be fighting. I literally said that myself. I was like, I don't know if he's in the right headspace to be fighting. Um, goes in there and puts on a fucking clinic, bro. He just his left hand is so fast and his timing was so perfect, and he's using it on like one of the best boxers in the world right now. But he came in, and this is the thing. He promoted his fight in a way that we haven't really seen by just trolling everybody, saying, "Oh yeah, pretty much I'm crazy, I have problems, blah blah blah, whatever." Talking about his depression and things like that. Singing, he made a song. He dropped a song in the middle of all of this, which is insane. And him at the press conferences, getting in this guy's face, just talking all the shit that he can talk, and successfully backing it up. He came in 3 pounds overweight and paid the other dude I think something crazy like half a $1 million for every pound he was overweight. And
That's crazy.
yeah, and he also you get fined, and like he knew because they're fighting for a belt. And if you come in overweight, then you don't get the belt. But you can still fight, and if you win, it still counts as a loss on another person's record, blah blah blah. But you don't get the belt. So he goes in and beats the brakes off this guy. Like it was a good fight for a while, but the first thing that happens, they walk in and Ryan throws a quick left hand, and then you just see the dude on noodle legs, and that's pretty much the story of the fight. The referee was trying to help the other guy win, in my opinion, because I was watching it live and I was like, "What the fuck?" Um, but yeah, then what happened, J-Rock? Because you're the one that found this out.
Yeah, so got an ESPN alert literally like 20 minutes ago that Ryan Garcia failed his doping test the day before his big fight and upset with Devin Haney. Now, this is what ESPN is reporting, so don't shoot the messenger. Um, the tests were taken prior to the fight, but the results weren't known until later. So that's why like the fight wasn't stopped. It still happened.
But
Um,
yeah.
I'm just reading. I'm just reading. The banned substance is a sterin or a sterine. Don't know how to say it. And he has 10 days to request his B sample to be tested. Now, you know more about what are the repercussions because of this, so I'll let you explain that. But this is basically the breaking news we just got.
So I see this happen more in MMA than I do in boxing. So I can go from an MMA standpoint. Pretty much in MMA, when you go ahead and you or pretty much cheat, even if they find what's called a picogram, like a little sample of some shit, they take away, they damn near take away the win. So hopefully, for his sake, like it was a fair fight, because if you do that much to cheat, like if you cheat by taking steroids and then you also cheat by being overweight, it's like, bro, okay, so you didn't really
You
win the
really
fight.
won, yeah.
Yeah, like that's how people are gonna think about it, and it fucks up your legacy. It fucks up everything that you've been saying after the hype, like you saying like, "Yo, nobody believed in me, and I did it. This and that, blah blah blah," and which is true.
But he didn't believe in himself.
Nah, he's iconic. This is what he said at the end of the fight. He goes, "Oh boy, you're right about that. If he's out here taking
If he's
steroids,
out, yeah.
he didn't believe in himself 100%." At the end of the fight, my favorite thing that he says is like, y'all just like to hate on me because I'm pretty and shit." But, and a,
Yikes.
a big part of it is true. A lot of people do hate on him because he's pretty and shit. Conventionally attracted kid. But well, you should have never said that like that. But,
Hey, yo!
hey, yo! No, but I mean, it'll just take away so much. But congratulations to him so far, because I'm not a huge Ryan Garcia fan, because I don't like people that
Absolutely not.
I don't like people that don't like defend themselves very well, and he doesn't do a really good job of defending himself. But he played the game, he got the viewership, and he got the attention back to boxing, and that's what really matters at the end of the day. Uh, but moving on to our disappointments. Go ahead.
All right, we'll talk about the NBA playoffs while trying not to jump off the roof. um, welcome to Depression Hour. Starting your Miami Heat,
So
where
sad.
we just got the gentleman sweep
We didn't get
because
gentlemen swept because then we went.
yeah,
Wait, we only
won
won
game
one?
2. Yes.
Nah, I thought we
Yeah,
went.
it would have been better if we would have got swept, but that's just my take. The problem with Miami is that we continue to run it back each year, thinking that we will beat these super teams, and getting absolutely no help for Jimmy Butler. For the last time, I don't want to repeat myself. Bam Adebayo is not him.
Yeah.
He's not. Tyler Hero, it's time to go, bro. You showed up in game 2 and then have been missing.
Do you think
You
that?
started the game 0 for 5, bro.
Do you think that? Because a lot of people say the same thing. It's hard to go to work when you wake up in silk sheets. So do you think that it's time for him to get the Jeremy Lin treatment? Do you think that he's already past that prime of his, or get the Jordan Poole treatment?
He might need the Jordan Poole treatment. I think he needs a reality check for sure. But I could say the same thing about like the hype that we have behind Duncan Robinson. Why do we still have Duncan Robinson on our team? I get it. He could shoot threes, but who is helping Jimmy Butler?
I think that I could say this. I could say Bam is helping Jimmy Butler because he's a dominant force on the team. Yes, but the other people surrounding that cannot produce, at least not as much as him.
Force.
I'll put it like this. Bam has put the team on his back before. Tyler Hero's never really put not consistently. No, 100%. That's why I said he helps. But Tyler Hero's rarely, if not ever, has put the team on his back to win the game. Duncan Robinson has never. I think he might have maybe one time shot the lights out and put the team on his back. And these are things that you are supposed to be doing as like a role player, as a team, things like that. This is where you're supposed to be. Same thing goes on when it comes to the Warriors. It's like, bro, you cannot expect one person. If this one person doesn't show up, nobody shows up. That's how it kind of is. Yeah. And it can't be that way. There's no way to be successful in my opinion. There's no way that you can be successful playing that way. That's why in my opinion, the Nuggets are such a good fucking team. Because
not this year.
Hear me out. Because when their star isn't showing up, they're gonna lose. But consistently, people are showing up. That's how they get their wins. That's just how they're getting their wins. It's not like if one star doesn't show up, like Joker could score maybe 20. But then somebody on that team is going to start going off. That's what's going to happen. Like, it's so inevitable. It's crazy. Dude. Yeah. And then guess what? Guess what that lets Joker do? That lets him go ahead and focus on his assists and focus on getting rebounds because he knows he's not scoring today.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna just say this for the Heat organization. Because we're done with running it back.
Yeah.
Sell these players, sell these bums, and get help for Jimmy. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how much we give up. He needs help. If we're going to keep making these playoff runs, especially to the finals, it can't just be him. He needs backup. And it's not Bam. Bam is barely a role player. Like, he'll step in, he'll give you like your 15 points. He's not going to take over a game.
And that's
We've asked this man to take over multiple games, and he doesn't step up.
But that's why I always talk about, because I've been talking about I've been talking about Jaylen Brown for such a long time. Like I told you, this guy,
I don't
at,
agree with your take, but yes.
but today is when he's needed and he produces.
No, no,
Like
no,
he
no, no, no. We got killed by the bald
100%.
man Derek White.
No,
That's who killed us.
he killed
Not
us.
Jason Tatum.
No.
Not Jaylen Brown.
But this
Derek
is my
White.
thing. Derek White cannot do it alone. He can't do it alone. 100%. He can't
He's
do it.
not supposed to be doing anything.
That's my point. He's showing up with a team that's like, oh, okay, so let's all play good. But even when the team is like, okay, we have to take some off, guess what he does? He goes ahead and he shoots the fucking lights out. What the fuck? He's not supposed to do that. And these are teams that I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at the stats right now. Their bench didn't do that great. They did good, but they didn't do that great. But the fact that they still have Horford on the fucking court. Like, that blows my fucking mind.
I
And
will
they
say
dusted us.
I will say that a lot of the Heat fans will say, oh, well, we had injuries.
No.
We had 2 games at home where the only 2 people injured were Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier. And we got mollywopped.
Yeah.
Please, shut the fuck up.
It should never be
sign people or sell the fucking team.
It should never be such a god damn, dude.
That's where I'm at, bro.
Jesus Christ. No, it should never be such a big thing. It should never be such a big difference. And I'm okay with a gentleman's sweep if it's at their court, which is okay to me, and it's by a couple points.
Not by 34.
Not by 30. Like that's the saddest way to go out. That's the saddest way to go out.
You guys, Heat culture my ass, bro.
Yeah, it's really disheartening because then it makes us look soft. And nobody likes to look soft. It's like
ever. Y'all don't got the dog in you. Like, stop.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the other games because fuck that.
So
we don't need that negativity.
Let's talk about a little bit more negativity, then we can get to the positive. So negativity number 2
for you.
For you.
No.
What do you think about the Warriors not making the playoffs?
We're talking about the NBA playoffs. We need to talk about the Lakers and Nuggets. We need to talk about the Suns getting swept.
I don't want to suffer alone.
No.
All right. So let's talk about it. I feel the same way that I feel about fucking Miami is the same way I feel about the Lakers. I feel like they don't have help at all. I don't think it should be possible that you are somebody who shot the most threes in the season, but then in a clutch game, you go 0. Like, yikes. It's a crazy thing to have to talk about. Like, so we talk about also, and the thing is that they're systematically playing better. I'll give them that. I'll give the Lakers that. As a system, okay. they're playing better. They're not getting as many turnovers. They're playing way better defense. They're locking people down. They figured out the way to contain Joker as much as possible. Mm-hmm. But then you have the rare occurrences with the Jamal Murray effect. And they even found a way to contain Jamal Murray for a good time. They've been ahead most of the series. They were ahead.
But I would say majority of it.
No. I'm saying like most of the series, like as in majority of the series, they were ahead by every quarter. And then when it gets to that fourth, what happens? Some crazy ass comeback because they start slacking. And there's no room for that. They figured that out when it came to game 4. They figured that out. Okay, they made the adjustment and stayed up by 10 throughout the whole game. Kept that steady, staying up by 10. You score, we're gonna score. You score, we're gonna score, because they figured out the Nuggets are slow at starting, good at
Mhm.
finishing.
Mhm.
They said, all right, let's take advantage of them being slow at start. I
Sorry.
feel like Charles Barkley.
Yay, yo, relax.
Hey, so they're good at so the Nuggets are good at starting, but when they close out that game, they're not good at starting, but when they close out that game, they're closing it out and they're gonna come
Mhm.
back and fire back.
Yeah.
But the defense is what needs to show up. So then you
Yeah.
have to have AD go ahead and be the biggest fucking defensive
Dude.
person ever. He has to be an all-star every time, which
Yeah.
fucking sucks because he's not durable enough for to do that
No.
every game
And he unfortunately was unlucky this series because like all the game winners and all that shit was on his head,
on his head
which
top.
is it's just
It,
tough.
but you know what? It's two ways to me.
Mhm.
In my point of view, it's bad because that's gonna be a poster, and some kids like Jamal Murray fans,
Yikes. Yeah,
fucking,
you're right. You're right. You're right.
it's gonna be a poster in a Denver barbershop. It's gonna be a poster, but but also it shows how versatile he is and how much he's willing to go. Like, dude, he's like, fuck it, I need to go ahead and do this for my team. And
Mhm.
sometimes it happens, dude. When you talk about, on top of that, if you talk about like what's his name, when you talk about Joker's going ahead and playing his game. Like, you can't really stop him. When you talk about but then when you talk about LeBron trying to lock him up, doing the best he can, like doing what he should not have to. So that's why you need
Mhm.
somebody like, dude, that's why you need a Dwight Howard, because Dwight Howard can go ahead and keep up with the pace and be consistent. And it worked in 2020.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell him nothing. He was locking
Yeah.
them down. Now, given it was 4 years ago, but at the same time, like, that type of player is a type of player. It's a system player. It's somebody that you need.
Yeah. No, I just either the Lakers are gonna draft Bronny to keep
Which,
LeBron there another year, which I think is not smart, but I'll keep that opinion to myself.
yeah,
Um, and
no,
then
you're right.
or he's just gonna go to another team, which to me makes sense. I don't think the Lakers were a good fit. I understand the move and the reasoning and all that, but the Lakers are gonna fire that coach. They're gonna try to get random old folks to help LeBron, and honestly, they need to like redo that team all over again.
Yeah, I think if they want to keep LeBron, they're going to make some major cuts. But the problem with the whole situation is that when they make those major cuts, it's like it's gonna look like it's a LeBron decision, but it's really not. Because when
No,
the start
yeah, it's always
when
gonna be a LeBron decision, no matter
yeah,
what.
yeah, like when your star player is telling you, hey, challenge this call because what happened isn't what happened, you challenge the call. That's it. Like, there's not really supposed to be like that conversation
Or a fight
and this,
back.
that, and the
Yeah.
third. Yeah. No, it just shows it sucks for Darvin Ham, but at the end of the day, like, he's showing that he's not being a great leader like he's supposed to be. You're
Yeah.
not, like, if this guy is 0 for whatever and he's scoring 0 points throughout the first 15 minutes, take him out. He
Say
can't.
his name, bro. Say it with your chest.
If D'Angelo Russell is not scoring in the first 15 minutes, take him out. Put somebody else there. Like, there was absolutely no reason to keep him there unless you don't have anybody else, which I think is the Lakers' problem. Yes, there were injuries. Everybody has injuries. It's not an excuse. At the end of the day, they came out, Denver showed their nuts, and they dropped them on the head top. And they said, "What are you gonna
Yikes.
do about me?" Like, that's what happened. That's what happened because you can't score nine fucking threes. Oh yeah, go ahead. You're running back and forth and you're fucking showboating and shit like that, talking shit, and then come out and then score 0 points. What the fuck? You can't be
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Let's move on to the new Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards,
Yo,
and the Timberwolves
I'm gonna be honest.
sweeping. the Phoenix Suns, who have a big three
Well deserved. It was a well deserved effort. There was a lot of talking shit
all
when it came to
season,
that
bro.
series.
All
Yeah,
season.
and it came to Bradley Bill. I never been swept a day in my life. Well, yesterday
Devin
was the day.
Booker. Devin Booker. I don't know how they're gonna guard all of us.
I don't know how they're gonna guard us. They guarded you guys.
Yeah, you
They guarded you guys. They
did,
swept you,
bro.
and it's embarrassing because this is why there's such a this is why, and I know it's frustrating for KD
Oh no. We'll get to KD. We'll get to KD. Continue
because
your thought.
because this is why some people could just never be considered in the greatest players as the greatest players
Mm-hmm.
because it's situations where you have the tools and then you get beaten by not just a great team. And no, this guy, Anthony Edwards, showed his nuts and dropped them on your head top. And he said, "What are you gonna do about me?" And there
4 games
nobody had it.
straight.
Nobody had an answer. They were just like, and that's that's a dog. Like you,
Oh
what do
yeah,
you?
he also went to Georgia, so he knows how to be a dog.
No, there's nothing you could do about people like that.
Yeah,
Like those are the type of people that's just like, all right, okay, cool, get out his way, let him do his thing. Let's try to find a way to stop him. But you can't play off of him the whole game. You can't give him openings to do that or
dunk on your head, bro.
take it. You have to take it every time. Hope you get a charge call. Be somebody's poster or put somebody there that's willing. Put a 7-footer in that position that's willing to be somebody's poster but gets to play minutes. Because
All right,
you have too much pride on there's so much pride on a team of these three superstars. It doesn't work.
let me get on my little TED talk real quick.
Okay, let's hear it.
KD,
Mm-hmm.
you left the Warriors because you said that you could win without them. You team up with Kyrie in Brooklyn, and you guys get James Harden and start your big three. Now, unfortunately, due to injuries and vaccinations, because certain people are selfish, we couldn't really see the talent or the championship run that people were talking about because of the big three. So you trade James Harden for Ben Simmons. And then that new big three conversation starts. And lo and behold, it just doesn't work out once again. So what do? I complain. I blame it, shift the blame towards other people once again. The Warriors win one without me. All right, let me go back to the West. So you come to Phoenix, where they trade all of their assets away, all of their bench. The team that got them to the finals, trade all of that away to bring you in. And then you bring in Bradley Beal, who has proven absolutely nothing when he was a Wizard. But hey, you have your new big three. You got Devin Booker saying, no one's going to guard us. No one can guard us. And then you realize, oh shit, not only did we trade away all of our bench players and the players that, helped this team get to the finals, you fired the coach and you bring in Frank Vogel, who, if you watch the NBA, all of Frank Vogel's teams are defensive teams. And guess what the Suns don't play? Defense. Because you know what? Your big three is heavily three different shooters. So now, not only do you let Bradley Beal get cooked, Devin Booker out there doing his own thing, you come out and say that you never got used to the Sun system. It wasn't working out. You felt like you were being pushed aside. You wait until you get swept to say and complain about all these things. KD, I am tired of the excuses. I defended you when you went to the Warriors. thought you were going to win so many more championships with the Warriors had you stayed, but it's hard to defend someone who basically is a snake. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think one of the things about him is just that he's he's a great shooter. He's a sniper,
That's
slim
all he'll
leaper,
be.
all of that. But the thing is that the
He's not
account of
the man.
he
He's
doesn't
not
have the
LeBron.
shoulders. He doesn't have the shoulders to carry that weight. He can't.
He's not LeBron. He's not
And
Steph.
stuff. Yeah,
He thought that he was on that level. You're not. You're a level below that, unfortunately.
and
You
that's
could
why.
be that guy, but it didn't work out in OKC. You didn't like the attention only being on Steph and the Warriors. It didn't work in
Mhm.
Brooklyn. It's not working in Phoenix. Please don't come to Miami. We
Yeah,
don't want you.
yeah. It's
Just
that our system
yeah.
doesn't work for him either. I mean,
No, and he's not a dog.
yeah,
It's not
and
going to work.
yeah, it's just it is unfortunate because you see somebody's talent, and that's why like I always explain, like I try to explain to people like talent production is going to outbeat talent. And when people always say, "Oh, but KD has a better bag than LeBron," I'm like, dude, LeBron doesn't need a bag because at the end of
That's a
the day,
crazy take.
no, it yes, but I don't like to argue that because that's an objective argument. My argument
Hmm.
always stays statistical. St-
You
statistic.
said it right.
Yeah, my argument always stays statistical. It's like, listen, how productive is this player on the team? Oh, so you're telling me he's not productive on the team, but he's better than another player? Yeah, that sounds fucking crazy.
And not to be that guy, but after a certain point, whenever you're going to a new team and it just doesn't work out,
Yeah,
baby, you might be the problem.
you might be the problem, bro.
So,
I don't know. That's what it's shaping out to be, in my opinion.
hmm
So, what do you think about what is it? The Bucks and the Pacers.
I think the Pacers were up. We could quickly go through these.
Yeah.
Pacers were up. I think Cleveland and the Magic were either tied.
Hmm.
Last time I checked. The Knicks and the Sixers. The Knicks are up 3-2.
Oh, what do you think about Jalen Brunson, bro? Do you think that he's
That man's a baller.
Jesus Christ?
Talk
Okay.
about carrying your team.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
kid. That kid's good.
He's another one.
Yeah.
What do you think about the
Um.
Mavericks and Clippers? Another big three that does not seem to like
Well, that's the Kyrie thing too.
but the thing is that with Kyrie, no, because the Clippers are the big three. Like
Well,
they have Kawhi, they have James Harden,
you
they have
could.
Paul George.
Sure.
These are ballers. But
Yeah,
then
but
but but then we look at a team that we didn't think
you
would
forgot
work
Rust.
out. Oh yeah, and Russ, big four. My bad. So
But are two of those four actually
big,
should be
yeah,
considered?
hell yeah. The explosive dude. One thing I can never undermine is the
I don't think
athleticism.
anymore.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Um, Russell Westbrook has turned into a bench player, which I think he's best and most comfortable at because
He
when you
should have
come,
never left
you
Washington.
I don't think he should have ever left OKC. I
No,
think he
he.
would have been a great addition, especially with Shy and all these. Dude, that young, fresh team, and he could still run with them, be explosive with. They would have been the fastest team on the fucking. They would have been the fastest team in the NBA. Who's
Yeah,
gonna
well,
stop?
they're the number one seed and already won. So
Exactly.
yeah,
So he would have just been an addition. And when they get tired, hey Russ, get in there and run your four flat.
yeah.
So
I honestly, that's a series I really don't care about.
I get it. I just think that it's awesome that the Mavericks have the most unlikely team that's working. You get what I mean? Like Kyrie and Luca, I didn't think for a second that was gonna work. I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and move on
Well,
to another
technically,
team.
it's.
It's working. It's working.
Mm,
It's shaky, but it's working. I like it. I like what's going on here. They went 50-32 throughout the season. That's a good record.
okay,
So anyway, yeah.
that's the NBA playoffs. If you're a Miami fan, rest in peace, bro.
We'll come back to be continued.
Yeah, TBD.
TBD. So the WNBA draft. What were your surprises?
Honestly, everyone knew Caitlin Clark was going number one, so that wasn't a big surprise. I think the players that the Las Vegas Aces drafted for me were like underrated.
Mm,
Um,
okay.
so those were the ones I think. Let me just pull up the quick draft picks that they had. I will start with Kate Martin, who I didn't even think would get drafted. Um, that one was a big one for me.
Yeah.
Just because like she was also on that Iowa team. Um, she was sitting in the crowd supporting Caitlin Clark, hoping to hear her name, but knowing that she wasn't or had like didn't think she was going to get picked. So to get picked in the second round while you're in the stands, like that's like top tier. It was so cool to see, but we'll see if she makes the roster. I think she has the potential to be a good player, a role player, bench player, but that
We'll
team
see
is
what
very
happens.
talented.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's a big stage, man. A big
mhm.
shoes to fill in that jersey.
Yeah,
So
the Aces also drafted Deasia Fair, who played here at Syracuse, and I've seen firsthand. She's the third lead scoring women's on the women's list.
mhm.
So you know how Caitlin Clark broke all those records. Deasia
Yeah,
Fair is number 3. So
damn,
she
that's
was
fine.
also breaking records. And then they also drafted Elizabeth Kitley, who is currently injured but is a potential future like
Oh,
pickup.
yeah,
Yeah, so I think they did good. I don't like the New York Liberty had the opportunity to pick up Nika Mule, who is the point guard, one of the point guards for UConn, and they decided not to pick her up. So she's now with the Seattle Storm, who are basically creating a super team over there.
mm,
So I think that's another team to watch. And obviously, like I'm still gonna watch the Indiana Fever. I'm interested to see how Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston work out. I think that duo is going to be something for the future. So it's going to be a fun watch this season. There's so many good players that got drafted. So
it is, and it's only going to get bigger. I mean,
oh yeah, with Caitlin
what
Clark, yeah.
what do you think about Angel Reese's like welcome party in comparison to Caitlin Clark's?
Um, I'm gonna say this right now. I think the hate for Angel Reese needs to stop. Like she's gonna ball out in Chicago with Camila Cardoso. No one's gonna get rebounds on them. So like I just hope that people start
Yeah,
respecting her and leaving aside that whole LSU bullshit. And she was honestly the best dressed athlete at the draft.
yeah, she
Hands
was
down.
definitely fire. Yeah,
Yeah. So that's
Jesus
my take on
Christ.
that.
All right, damn. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is
Let's
what the
get
people
this
are here
shit.
to see. Kendrick versus Drake. All right. So if you guys don't know, Kendrick and Drake have been beefing. There's been
For
words said.
years.
There's been things that have been,
Subliminals.
subliminal shots here and there. And then Kendrick decided to take the hip hop world by storm when he said, "Bomb."
Yeah.
Next thing
Yeah.
you know, everybody beefing, everybody fighting. Taylor Swift even fighting Kim Kardashian. She don't even know how to sing or do nothing. But
Bro, Chris
still,
Brown and Quavo.
Chris Brown and Quavo, like, you know what? Fuck you, not fuck you. And now Kanye jumped in it. Nobody wanted him to be there. Like, get the fuck out of here. Rick
Yeah.
Ross came in here like, hey,
I'm the biggest boss.
hey, yo, ain't you 50?
And then
Yo,
you have J. Cole in the corner.
like, just like, I
Uh,
didn't mean
I
it.
apologize.
But the thing that made this all so great is that it set the hip hop world on fire.
Hip
I
hop is
there's a
alive, bro.
unique take that I really did like. You're gonna hate me for this. There's a unique take that I really liked, and it was the babies. So apparently, the baby was like, somebody reached out to the baby and was like, "Hey, let's start this beef and get this money." And the baby was like, "I don't play like that. Like, if I'm beefing with
Yeah,
you, I'm beefing with you,
yeah.
and you're gonna
The
have to
baby
see me.
has
Like
proven
you, like
that.
you've seen me. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I don't
Yeah.
like to play like that." So that was pretty cool. But this shit has gotten real. These niggas do not like each other.
At
So pretty
all.
much there's been subliminal shots back and forth between Drake and Kendrick. All right, cool. And then on like that, pretty much
Actually, can we go a little bit further back
go ahead.
with
You
first
you
person shooter?
first person shooter mode. Yes. So in first person shooter, J. Cole pretty much referenced that they argue who the big three is between me, K. Dot, who's Kendrick
Is it
Lamar,
K.
and
Dot,
Drake.
Aubrey, or me?
Yeah.
And then J. Cole basically said that he feels like he's Muhammad Ali.
Hmm.
We'll talk about Jermaine some other time. He's not a part of this
Yes.
conversation.
But point is,
Um,
that was the reference. And then
mhm.
Kendrick
Drake.
came back and like
Well,
that. And
hold up,
go
because
ahead, go ahead. All right, then you
Drake
explain. You explain
basically
what.
didn't agree with the whole J. Cole big three line.
But that's
Um,
later on. That's later on.
no, it's in that same song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're gonna have to re-listen to that.
All right,
Um,
all right, all right.
so like there's some subliminals in there too, where it's like, like one is saying that we are the big three, the other one's saying no. Like it's just like I'm compared to Michael Jackson. Like I'm
Mhm.
about to break his record. Like if anything, I'm the one that should be
But
the most popular one.
I think that that's just him, like him talking about how he's awesome, which is what rappers do. Like I think that what Kendrick said was more direct, 100%.
Okay, so go off about like that.
So in like that, pretty much Kendrick comes out and he says, "Fuck that big three, nigga. It's just big me." And nigga, bomb.
Bum.
And he starts going off.
And his K's for all these the K9 line
Yeah.
about Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, he goes off, starts talking shit to Drake, and it was a light flex, but so deep. Like it cut so deep. It was great. Golden thing. Now here's the
Bum.
thing. Now here's the thing about your boy Aubrey Graham. Aubrey is not going to take that laying down. He's going to respond in some fashion. He chose not to take the high road and wait a couple months or years to go ahead and release like a little track, or not even just a track, just some subliminal message in a feature. No, he made a whole song.
Hold up, hold up.
Go
He
ahead.
first posted a bunch of stories about him and his feelings and how people are attacking him
Good, good.
and being the cornball that Drake sometimes is. And then he dropped his first diss track.
That heat. Look, listen. Whatever they made an album to diss one person. I thought, in my opinion, I was like, that's pretty fucking corny. In my opinion, I like for one person, you make a whole album. That's on your catalog. You have to say, I made this whole album, and then
And that
Drake,
shit is fire.
in that one song, dismantled. He dismantled everybody except for Kendrick. He dismantled everybody that came at him. He took shots at everybody in a very creative manner, and it was a great song. Loved it. Now, nobody. This is the way I'm going to categorize it. Nobody wanted to hear from anybody else except for Kendrick about what Drake said.
Yeah, because the beef
They're,
is between
we
Kendrick and
exactly. So
Drake.
we were like, we don't want Future to respond. We don't want Metro to respond. Metro gonna be like,
Hey, you know what's funny? I read online that Metro should use that Drake line and put that as like his intro to songs now.
that'll be fucking
That'd be fucking
gold. I
fire.
would I would love it because
Yeah.
you have to have fun with it at the end of the day.
But yeah, and honestly, like as much as people are like, "Oh, Metro just plays the drums," blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Metro's one of the best producers in the game, y'all.
he is 100%.
And y'all, if you don't believe that, you're just a hater.
100%. But Drake really did go at this in the most Drake fashion ever,
Yeah,
which works for him.
funny.
Which is exactly, he's taking jabs at you. He's gonna make fun of you. He's gonna talk about things that you don't have, things that you haven't accomplished.
Well, him and his
And
ghostwriters.
him and his ghostwriters, they're gonna go ahead and attack the things that you don't have, entertaining all the like, entertaining no matter what. But then your boy Kendrick comes back.
Hold up.
Actually, no. After that, go ahead. Go ahead. You explain.
After that, well, are we gonna talk about J. Cole or no?
No, we don't need to talk about J. Cole.
Okay.
I personally believe that he bowed out of the situation. I don't really feel like I need to talk about it anymore. I think what he did was pretty corny. So no, I don't like that. Let's talk about it. What do you think about that?
As someone who's also a J. Cole fan, I didn't really like the mixtape EP that he dropped. There's a couple songs on there that I actually saved. I listened to 7-Minute Drill and I was a bit disappointed, if that's the correct word to use for this, just because half of the lines that he was saying towards
were
Kendrick,
lies.
He doesn't believe that shit. Yeah, like,
and you could tell. You could tell by when he was talking. He was like, "Bro, you don't believe that you are literally people know that you are literally praising this guy for when he drops.
Yeah.
Why are you going to say this in a song when you don't believe it? If it's a lie, I don't care if it's a lie, as long as you believe the lie, and you could be fuck you, this isn't that. It just didn't
like
sense.
that. I also didn't.
I don't like the apology either.
I don't like same. I don't like the apology because and then what makes it worse is deleting it off every platform.
Even cornier, bro. Everything was corny about that, because to me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, the big three, it's about rap, it's about bars. And when you drop something and then you're like, I want to take it back. It's like, bro, no, don't take it back. Take it on. That's you're taking it on the chin. You said, yo, Kendrick, come back and music. No, that's you taking it on the chin. Live with that corny shit that you said and let it ride. But then on top of that, what are you apologizing for? He came at you. You got hit. You say some shit. You said some shit back, whether it was corny or not. That was your right to say it back. And then he should have took his time, in my opinion. I think that he just got his feelings hurt, and then he went ahead and he wanted to go ahead and spray back.
Yeah.
Even though
I also think like making your apology at your festival.
Bro, no. I would pull a Drake and make it an Instagram story. That's what you're getting from me. You get to diss me, and I gotta say sorry to you. The fuck out of here! What are you talking about? That's crazy.
Also, like, now that for me, like, it moves J. Cole's position, and like for me, this is my opinion. It moves his position in my like top 3, top 5 hip hop artists, rap artists, because no matter what you say going forward about like how you're the best, you're Muhammad Ali, you're like the top one, the apology is always going to come back
J-Rock,
to bite you in the ass.
Alone. You are not alone in that by any means.
I know.
Listen,
and it sucks because I like J. Cole.
We all do. But at the end of the day, I could appreciate an artist, but to a certain point. What bothers me the most is that his bars are consistently about how nobody wants smoke with him. That's what his bars are. Right or wrong. All of his music is, you don't want it with me. I'm this type of person. I'm that type of person. You don't want it. You don't want it. Nobody wants this shit with me. As soon as that shit comes to his front door, that nigga said, hey, you know what? I didn't mean it, man. You know what? We're friends. We're cool. No, dude, you talk all the big shit. Hey, we'll have this at your front door. We'll do this. We'll do that. Where's that energy, bro? No, you can't just backtrack. Fuck that. And it's 10 toes down. Say it with your chest. Fuck you and fuck Compton. Whatever. Like, no. Whoa. Nah. Take the smoke, bro. Like, you wanted the smoke.
Whatever. Yeah. All right. Let's move on from
the
J.
culture.
Yo, yeah, sip some water. Relax over there, my guy.
I just get so amped up about hip hop.
I love it. That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
And then,
Um,
yo, go ahead.
talk about Drake's AI song before we get
Drake's
to Euphoria.
Drake's AI song. I honestly don't know how to feel about it. I'm half in, half out.
I didn't hear
Um,
it, so I'm going off of your take.
so pretty much what he did is that a lot of people feel like, oh, it's disrespectful because you use Pac and you use Snoop's voices and stuff like that. He did not in any way diss them or anything. He was using their voices to tell Kendrick, yo, you need to respond to this nigga. You need to respond to this nigga because he just ate your ass up. Hey, yo. Um,
Yo,
but you need to respond to him. Like, do it for the culture. Do it for us. Like, why are you like you? We gave you the crown. That's why I think he used specifically Snoop
and Tupac,
and
yeah.
Tupac because that's supposed to be what it is. So he's like, we gave you the crown, which I thought was very creative. That's why I like Drake's approach to the beef because Drake, if not anything, he's always been extremely creative. He knows where his strengths are and he knows where his weaknesses are. He knows that he can't go bar for bar with Kendrick. There's no way. But
Never.
he can always go to the things that people love. People like to like dabble in, like when it comes to flexing and shit like that. He could always flex his whatever it is. Now, when Kendrick came back with his response, that was a fucking wrecking ball on
Okay.
everything.
Okay. Let me start.
Go
Let
ahead.
me start. Let me go off. This man dropped a 6-minute diss track on a Tuesday at 8:24 a.m. Pacific time,
Mm-hmm.
which is also done on purpose. It's a Kobe reference. Um, and Kendrick and Kobe had a good relationship together. I mean, when he did the Heart Part 5, 6,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was, and he used like AI to like mix
Kobe.
the
Yeah.
face. Kobe was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's also a reference to a line in one of Drake's songs where he's basically saying that he's not Kobe or some shit like that, or saying that you think you're, you remember when Draymond Green told Paul Pierce that you think you're getting the Kobe treatment, but you're not him.
Yeah.
Similar to what Drake is saying to Kendrick.
Yeah.
So it's everything that Kendrick has done with Euphoria, like everything has a meaning to it
Mm-hmm.
that probably first 2, 3, 4, 5 listens you won't catch.
Yeah.
Maybe like in a month we'll be like, oh my god, this is what this meant too. And I can't wait. But I will start off by saying I am biased because I
Mm-hmm.
am a big Kendrick Lamar
Thank
fan.
you for admitting that. I really
Yes,
appreciate that.
he
I'm
is my favorite
objective.
rapper.
I'm
Yeah,
objective. You're biased. It's okay. This
yeah,
is safe
I
space.
am a little bit more biased than yeah. He's my favorite rapper of all time. So like for me, obviously he's winning. But Euphoria, the song, is also a jab because Drake is one of the directors of Euphoria, the show, which is a show
Oh.
about high school kids who are in relationships and they talk about their stuff, but also because Drake has been known to date women that are younger
We could say
and
groom
groom,
women, and
whatever.
and date like women who are half his age. Let's be real.
Exactly, which is another line in the song.
That
And
was fire. The thing is that Drake attacked pretty much Drake tried to attack Kendrick Lamar's manhood in a more playful way.
mhm.
Kendrick attacked Drake's manhood in a real way. And that's what I think was so creative about the track because
There's so
Kendrick,
many lines.
it's a chess match. It's a chess match, legit. Kendrick knows his strengths too. He knows I'm not gonna go ahead and make the party song that everybody's gonna bop to. That's Drake's thing. And when he says the lines like, as long as you keep making music that makes me wave my hands in the air,
And Dan,
we're good. We're
mhm.
good. Keep it over there.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he's not just clowning. He's telling Drake in a real way, like, bro, you're old. you're sitting, be a man. Like why are you're still dating these IG girls or going out with these IG girls talking about the same shit? I make music for people who are growing. You make music for people who want to stay in the same shit. And
Yeah.
it's fine, but don't act like you're not pretending to be somebody, because this
Mhm.
isn't the Drake that I like. The Drake that the music. Oh well, she broke my heart. Oh no, no, no. Like that's what
Yeah,
we
bring
like.
that back.
Yeah. So he's like, you're trying to be hard. You're not hard. You're not from any type of hood. Hey, keep it, just keep it PG, Crody. Like just like
Bro.
that shit. His whole 6 minute, like I was not bored. He switched the beat
Yeah,
like 8 times. I
three
was never,
times.
and
He
I
came
was,
with 3 switches.
dude, and I wouldn't. I was never sitting there like, all right, well, when's this gonna? I was
I
entertained the whole time.
Yeah. I will say that it felt like Kendrick was basically in the beginning, like the first 2 minutes of the song or like minute or so, it's very like jazz Kendrick
Yeah.
vibes, like To Pimp a Butterfly
Hmm.
vibes. For me, it's him opening the door saying, "Hey, come in. Let me start off by telling you how this is gonna go."
Yeah. I think that.
And then it just got second verse was just the beat switches, and we're like, okay, we're just starting to, do a little
Yeah.
jab. And then the third verse is like knockout, like
I think that. Well,
game over.
somebody said that it was because that was like a very old song. I forgot who it was by, but it's pretty much about the person being inspired again by this woman or whatever. But that's what it was about. Like he's inspired. Now I'm inspired. Now I want to get up. Now I'm getting off my throne to
Yeah,
talk to you. But
yeah. There's
and
so many lines
dude, the
in the
bad bitches. But
song.
when he said, "I see you and
Sexy
Sexy Red
Red.
standing next together," I just see two bad bitches. I was like, "Yo."
There's so many lines in the song that we won't have enough time to break
Yeah.
down.
So if
Um,
you know what we should do, we should go
yeah.
live. We should go live
Oh, we'll do a live and talk about this for
this
sure.
week.
I think that'll be great.
Let's do it
Yeah,
this week in a couple days, and
yeah.
then we could just talk about this
We'll
exactly.
talk about that. But for now, I will say this because like even though I am biased and I think Kendrick is winning,
Hmm.
I still like Drake. I think he's a great artist. I think
Hmm.
he's a great entertainer. Um, I do agree with some of the things that Kendrick has said about him, but I'm not gonna not give him his credit because Drake is still
He's
a
still Drake.
great artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still top three. Um, yeah, like that's all I'm gonna say. Kendrick for me like won this round.
Yeah, and that's what it's about. I mean, it's about, like, in my opinion, yeah, Kendrick's winning because that shit was a slaughter
Bro.
fest. Not gonna lie, but
When he told him that he wasn't a man, like he's still a
yeah,
boy, he hasn't seen a
yeah,
man, doesn't know how to be a dad.
dude, everything he said, it rang at the ego, and that's where I was like, Jesus Christ, like, because and what I loved about it, the reason why I have him winning is because I genuinely did not know what he can do. I didn't know what he can do. I was like,
Oh,
I've
I
never.
did.
No, I was thinking to myself, I was like, what can he say about Drake that's going to make
Yeah, no.
sense?
And
Like,
there's yeah, like you could tell that Drake has like stuff ready for Kendrick, and this is Kendrick saying, "Bring it out because what I have for you
it's gonna be a
is gonna
different,
destroy you
yeah. So
even more than you already got
I'm
destroyed,
loving
bro."
it. I'm loving it.
Oh
McDonald's,
yeah,
I'm
hip
loving
hop
it.
is alive.
I'm eating. I was hungry,
Um,
and this is what it's supposed to be.
before we move on to the next section of our podcast, can you say my favorite part of the song that I can't say,
Oh, we don't
please?
want to hear you say nigga no more. That was
Thank you.
great. Golden, 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 golden.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 10 out of 10.
Yo,
Recommend.
J-Rock,
We
you're the
are
best.
eating.
We are
We are
eating today.
eating.
We're eating. We're eating this week. All right. So let's move on to our series week recap. Recap.
Okay.
Uh, man, so to be honest with you guys, we were trying to keep the podcast. We're trying to trim down a little bit on the timing, but shit, it be getting crazy. All right,
Yeah,
but
we'll
we're
try to
gonna try
make
to
this
we're gonna
quick.
try to blast through our series recap a little bit. So let's go with the first one, Invincible. I heard you saw the final episode. What did you think?
All right, season 2 of Invincible. Hot garbage. I don't know if you've seen it. Do you
No,
care to see it?
I'm going to see it, but
Okay.
don't ruin it for me.
So, spoiler free. Well, I'll try my best, but there are
Great.
multiple plots that are happening,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's it.
it's just like a mess because we didn't, and I say we because some of my students also watch it, so it was like a work discussion that we had.
Hmm.
But we didn't know that the last episode that we watched was the season finale.
Damn, that's
And that
terrible.
should tell you enough of how the whole season was
I'll get
done.
a okay. I'll get around to it.
And it's pretty shit that they took that long of a break to give us that shit of a second half of season 2.
I feel like that's what happens when writers don't like you have fresh writers and fresh, artists that don't really know how to do the art and they
It's
come
just
out with an experiment that worked.
it sucks because like now we have to wait like a year or two for season 3, and at that point just fucking bin it. Like
Yeah.
put it in
No
the
one can
bin.
care.
Like we don't care anymore. Like that.
I think
Yeah.
that's
So when you watch it, then we could further discuss like in detail.
okay. I think they
Um
should just make a movie and that's it.
no, I
X Men.
think they should just stop.
Okay. X-Men 97. What do you think?
Complete opposite.
Yeah.
This show is probably one of the best shows that's out right now. The writing for it, the emotions behind it, and
Yeah.
how real it is to what we're currently living is what makes this show so fucking good.
Yeah.
I haven't caught up. Did I freeze?
Yes, you did.
Cool. Um,
Okay. Sorry about the error, but
yeah.
we're back. So, X-Men 97 storylines, plots.
Yeah. A lot of people were upset because of how left wing or woke it is, but that's the whole point of X-Men, so I won't get too deep into that as
Always
I'm
has
pretty
been.
sure. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I talked about it last time, but the storylines that are happening right now are so similar to what's happening right now across the globe with a certain war that is going on. And there's been 2 or 3 episodes that have literally destroyed me to the point where I've cried. So I highly recommend it. It's a really good show. Like it's probably going to be one of my top 3 shows of this year.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing I'm gonna be honest, I watched up to episode I think 5-ish so far. The only thing that bothered me is that you had to watch the old X-Men to kind of understand what's going on.
Somewhat.
It was because I watched it with people that never watched the old X-Men, so they were lost. And there was we're fans, so we can explain it.
Yeah,
I think my understand it.
Yeah, I think my only hot take with that is that even though I haven't watched the old X-Men like animated stuff, I have at least watched the X-Men movies to know what character is what
But
and
you
how
still
those
understand it.
relationships.
Like you know how WandaVision, like you didn't have to really know anything. You could have just
Yeah, but
watched that.
WandaVision was just like
I know it's a one
the
out of a
god.
million, but
Yeah.
like usually with these types of things, you kind of have to ease people into it because it's X-Men is such a confusing, it's such a confusing team. You don't know who's really supposed to be a part of it and who's not because you watch the movies. It's confusing, so you have to ease people into it, and there's not really a way around it. And they kind of push their way around it, which is cool. I like that they still went for it. At the same time, it's like, you probably should have kind of did more of a like they tried to do a little bit of like leading us in, but there had to be like a heavy lead in, like at least half an episode of just explaining the team and how everybody met, something like that, so people could be like, okay, on board. It would have done a lot more.
I get your side, but I think it's more of like if you want to understand that, start from the beginning.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's just like whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely one of the better shows that I've seen this year.
100%. I agree with you 100% on that. So you saw Godzilla versus Kong. I'm sorry, Godzilla and Kong.
Yeah. Um, one of those super duper great action movies with shit acting. But such an
Fire.
entertaining movie. The graphics were really good. This movie followed King Kong a little bit more.
Hmm.
I think it was more of his story and the people that lived on Skull Island
Hmm.
before like it got destroyed. So it's a little bit more of a historical story of King Kong, Skull Island, the previous monsters that
Hmm.
overtook certain places and how they worked, and then Godzilla just being like the side chick and coming in whenever needed. But whenever Godzilla comes in, it's like
You're gonna ruin it for me.
super duper cool.
You're gonna ruin it. Aren't you
Godzilla's
glad
my
I knew it?
favorite,
Aren't you?
bro.
I know. I know.
He's just
I'll take the mic
yeah.
from you because I don't want you to fucking spoil it for everybody and me. The movie just goddamn came out.
I'm sorry.
It's
All right,
okay.
move on.
So I watched Baby Reindeer.
Tell me about it because I've heard good things, but I
It is an
don't know what it
incredible
is.
show. It's gonna be probably on my top 10. Probably, I don't know. Years young. But pretty much it
We're
follows.
almost halfway through.
I know. Pretty much it follows a comedian who's working as a bartender, and he meets this woman. Now this woman is conventionally unattractive, and is unattractive to him, but she likes him, and she talks about liking him, and she's a little bit forward and direct, and it becomes like a stalking story.
Oh no.
Yeah. Now the thing is that, so it's not ruining everything because you kind of know from the beginning. He
Okay, I
talks
have
about it
questions.
in the first episode. Go ahead.
Is it like documentary style or is it like
This is the cool thing. The cool thing about it is that the guy who's playing the actor is the guy that went through it.
okay. So there's like
Yeah.
okay.
He's the one that made the show as well.
Okay.
So he's very involved in the storytelling and everything. And there's like videos and footage of him doing his comedy stand up and stuff. Like there's so much that you could dive into. And
Mhm.
I know that you're one of those people that like to dive into things after the show's over. So there's plenty of that.
Yeah.
It's a really good and thought provoking type of thing. It kind of
Mhm.
makes you think about not just mental illness, but it also makes you think more about like self worth and things of that nature.
Oof.
So it's a really cool show. Also,
What is it on?
it's on Netflix.
Okay. Um I'll add it to my list, but go
Fire.
ahead and finish and then I'll say where I'm at mentally with
Okay.
shows.
Okay. I also have been watching Halo. Halo is an awesome show, in my
I'm a hater.
opinion. I know it's okay.
Mhm.
But Halo's been doing really good for me because it took some time off, but and we also haven't taken time to watch it. But man, that fucking show is golden as far as writing and action, and getting it does a good job in my opinion in putting you in that first person like mode when they're fighting and
First
stuff like
person
that.
shooter mode.
First person shooter mode. Um, and you feel like you're actually in it and you're doing all the movements and stuff like that. And the
Mhm.
story is also pretty compelling. So it's a really cool show.
Cool. Unfortunately, I've been in a funk where I don't really want to watch TV shows. Even though I have a long list of shows to watch. Don't know, I'm probably just like mentally drained. So
Yeah.
hopefully now that we're hitting the summer, I get more of that second wind of wanting to watch TV. But that one, Fallout, and this other show called Them, are all on my list. So we'll let you
Okay.
know how that goes.
You should start with Baby Reindeer because it'll give us something to talk about.
I need to buy Netflix first.
Nah. Steal it.
Send me the link.
All
All
right.
right.
So now
Get out of my head.
like you're in my head. All right, now we're moving on to our special topic. Now, guys, a little controversial. So the NFL draft just passed, and we want to know, why are so many black athletes dating white women? That's what we're seeing during the NFL draft. We just want to know why it's going on. Um, I have seen perspectives. I know this is a hot topic in a lot of people's conversation. I've seen perspectives of people saying that white women are more, pretty much are more subservient, or whatever the word is. They aren't trying to be outside all the time, shaking ass, twerking, and all stuff like that.
Interesting.
They also feel like white women aren't trying to, you know, aren't so aggressive and stuff like that. So they don't have to be challenged as much because they know where a woman's place is. That's what I've heard. My point, like what I think specifically, and I don't care. I think that when people have that take, or have a take like that, they just feel like having a white woman is a status. They treat white women as a status symbol, and I think white women don't consistently, at least the type that you're looking at. I don't think that type usually dates black people unless you're an NFL player. So it's just, that's how I think about it. That's what I think.
Okay.
What do you think?
All right. So my response to this is obviously from the sidelines because I'm not black or white. So I don't really have that much of a take. I have more questions to try to understand
Okay.
why this is a perspective certain people have.
Hmm.
Obviously in the black community more than any other community. So I guess my first question I'm going to ask you, but it's open to everyone else, is it more of a racial thing? Is it more of like, oh, well, black men should be dating black women and they're only dating white women because of this stereotype or standard that black women aren't good enough or don't do the same things that white women would do for them?
I think that's what the issue is. The issue is that the reason why I don't think is necessarily just like, hey, um, date within your race type of thing. It's more
Mm-hmm.
along the lines of like how you come forward with dating people outside of your race. You get what I'm trying to say? Like
Yeah.
it's a little bit disheartening for people when they see, all right, this is somebody who's been raised around black people, had black girlfriends all their life, and then they're magically dating a white woman in college when they're about to get drafted. So go ahead.
No, no, no. Continue. I'll ask my
Yeah.
question after.
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, is this something that you've always wanted, or are you doing it because you feel like you're accomplishing more by dating a white woman? And why is it that black women are always put on the back burners when it comes to these types of things? Is it like, do you just not value them? And that's what it feels like. Like, I was watching a podcast, like this dude that I know, I'm not going to name him because like I don't want to give
Sponsor.
that. Nah, I don't want to give them energy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
JK sponsor.
he was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't like dating black girls. They're just so mean and they're so aggressive and they're this and that."
That was my part two question, where it's like, is it because, and obviously, like, don't want to offend anyone, but is it because there's this stereotype that black men just don't they see black women as more challenging and harder to get, or they like, from what I've seen, trash them while it's easier to kind of like not maintain, but kind of hold white women to a certain standard.
I think the word you might be looking for is like maintain, or
Okay.
have them remain like subservient, or stay, like I said, stay in a woman's place.
Yeah, yeah,
Um
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think that a lot of black men do feel that way, but you have to also look at the tropes of being a black man. You get what I'm saying? Or the struggles of being a black man as well. Being a black man means that you have to go anywhere you do go, you are met with hostility. You're met with anger, and you're met with aggression. You're met with disdain. With you're met with dislike. Even
Mhm.
if you're the most, no matter how white, or well, not white, no matter how preppy or white you try to be. I will say white because you have a stereotype of what white is. No matter how white you try to be, they those people who you're trying to perform and tap dance for are not going to like you. Just had to say that to the people.
That was my other
Um
my third question, where it's like, does it sometimes feel like these black athletes that we see who are dating white women, is it like them saying, "Hey, I'm a part of the white culture too, respect
mhm.
me"?
Yeah,
Does
it's
that
kind of
also play a part?
it's like if it looks like, oh, if I'm with a white woman, I could be closer to white. That's
Yes.
how people feel. So
Hmm.
that's how people feel about people who exclusively date white women. Now,
Okay.
don't get me wrong. I'm not
I have more
saying,
questions, but yes.
of course. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying, oh, you should exclusively date X, Y, and Z. I'm just saying no, I'm not saying that uh you should only date within your race. That's not what I'm saying, because I do
Hmm.
believe, like, love finds its way no matter what. But when you're exclusively dating a certain race, or as far as like a race that is seen as more superior, then I'm like, yo, no, you just have an issue, or there's something weird about you. Like,
Okay.
it's not right. Go ahead.
Okay. My next question is, and this is probably because like I work with college students, so like my take is more on like population, um and just like the logistical part of it, but I think that a lot of the times, like a lot of these athletes that we see who are dating white women are from the South,
Mm-hmm.
from big schools from the South. Because I'll start off and think like Texas,
Yeah.
or like Georgia, um, but majority of the schools that these athletes are going to, where they're getting drafted, the population is majority white.
Mm-hmm.
Probably black is second or third, depending on Asian Americans and Hispanic people, which, by the way, we are the fucking lowest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but sometimes it could just be like the more like
Proximity.
yeah, the proximity, and also what they see more of while
That
in school.
that's a point that some people try to make, but I like that you brought up Hispanics, because for some reason a Hispanic will always find another Hispanic.
Oh yeah, we do.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like,
We do.
but so the in in any case, the it doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make
Yeah,
sense
no, that's
because
why it was just
no,
like
no,
that's
no.
my
I
question
and
with
that's why I
it.
appreciate it, because these conversations do need to be had. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, a Hispanic could always find a Hispanic, an Asian could always find an Asian, but for some reason, a black person's like, well, I'm always around white people, so this is what it. And again, like, it's not like, oh, you have to date within your race, but um when you make the conscious effort to exclude your race, that's when it's like weird. And there are some people that have that mentality, that have been in the NFL, that have said this on podcasts, or have said this in news outlets. They have said, hey, yo, no, I like dating white women because this, that, and the third. And it's like, what the fuck? That's the weird thing to say.
Yeah. I do agree with you on that. I know who you're talking about too. I think, I guess my last question, because I'm the question person today.
No, of course, of course.
Um,
I love it.
I think my last question is, and I'm going to word it in a way. that can't be taken out of context. Um, I guess the bigger question is, can you explain why this is such a big issue with the Black community, um, and why they care so much about why young Black athletes are dating white women?
So it turns into a reflection of what Black women are already. So Black women, they have sustained for so long. They've sustained Black men. They've built up Black men, and they are still the most hated person. So one of the things about it is that when they kind of have to exit the conversation because you elevated, you're putting down that Black woman. When you said, "Oh, I got to this status, so yeah, I'm gonna have to elevate the type of girl that I'm with," and the type of girl that I'm with is
It's not
not your
you.
race. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not even that it's just not you. It's that you could never reach that because of your skin color. So it is
That's crazy.
racist. Like
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
100%.
So
100%.
that's what I'm saying. So it becomes a thing about dismantling like Black love in reality. Like that's what it's about. It's about saying, hey, Black love does not and cannot exist because of the characteristics that we see a stereotype of characteristics, and we say that's how Black women are, and I can't have that in my life. But it is hypocritical because if we see some guy that says, well, Black people are like this and they're all robbers, thugs, and this and that, then that same Black dude will be like, I'm not like that. Why would you treat me that way? So
Yep.
it just doesn't make sense, and it's a cornball excuse. It's whack, and it's lame. Like,
Mhm.
and then you have people that say things like, I'm proud that my wife is white, and like in and these are the coaches of football teams that are just saying things like this, and it's like, why would you say that? Like, these are things that are, it's like, it's subconscious in a lot of people's heads. And I as while I understand where it comes from, it is something that has to shift. There has to be a certain pride that's associated with being with a Black woman. There has to be a certain pride that is a certain, like, not even hope, but a certain, like, I want to say searching for, like, trying, even if it's not in your proximity, that should be something that you aspire to be with. You should aspire to be with somebody that has helped elevate you through your life. Like, that it shouldn't be your first choice to say, well, I don't like the way that Black women are, so no. Like, I could even say myself, dude, I'm dating somebody who is Hispanic, and she is, like, I guess you could say that she's on the, like, she looks like light skin or whatever. She looks like skin brown. But I've never looked at her and said, "Oh, she's Hispanic, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and lock that up." No, that never crossed my mind because that would be a weird thing for me to think.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, I appreciate your perspective on it. Obviously, like, this
I
is
appreciate it.
me just getting more educated on it, because honestly, for me, like, I don't care who you date. Um, that's your business. It's not my business.
Mhm.
But I completely understand, like, how perspective, or just like how it looks to people,
Yeah.
especially like in certain like situations like that. It's like,
Mhm.
hmm,
Yeah, you have
it's
to
pretty
kind of
sketch.
question. You side
Yeah.
eye, like, and like I said, like well, like I tell my friends when I'm having the conversation and stuff like that. When you see things like that, you side eye. You don't immediately, go to, well, this is why this person did this. It's it's like you give a side eye, like, why? And then when the answer is, which I've heard from these football
Yep.
players, like, well, it's because they know how to. There's like,
Yeah.
ew, dude, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So
Like, I understand if it's more like, oh, like, we've been dating together, like, we've been together since like middle
yeah,
school, and yeah, I
yeah,
get
like,
that. But the whole like perspective of, no, it's because
I hate
for
Black
lack of
women.
better words, and I could tame them the way that I want
Yeah,
them.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So it becomes a feminist conversation. It becomes a racial
Racial
conversation.
conversation.
It
Yeah.
becomes an issue when it comes to internalized racism. It becomes all of that
Yeah.
in
And
this one, like micro. I guess you can even call this a microaggression.
microaggression. Hmm.
Like so
I
insightful, man.
Yeah, and it's weird because like, do we really are we like going to blame white women for this, or is it just like this is just what's happening,
Again, it depends on their motive, right? Because
which we won't know either. Yeah.
would you be with a black man if he wasn't 6'2", built
Forget
like a
all of
fucking
that.
running back?
Forget all of that if they weren't rich.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
and on top of that, if they didn't have money, because even if they're 6'6", built like fucking Hercules,
LeBron James.
LeBron James, if he was
Yep.
broke, you're not gonna be with him. So it has to be all of those things culminate, like a culmination of all of those things.
Hmm.
Great looking guy, great body. Now all of a sudden, now that he has money, all of a sudden, or potential to get money, all of a sudden you could see the handsomeness. You could see the
Yeah.
attraction of a black man.
Yeah.
But if he was broke,
It's not there.
yeah, they're just so you get what I mean? So
It's too big.
it's hey
And that's
yo.
what we're gonna end it.
I love that. So I think we did it. We're changing a bunch of things, guys. So thank you so much for being a part of the journey. Uh, Again, I really gotta express that. Oh, also we are changing a lot of things in J Market, so be updated on those things too. When it comes out, we're gonna mention it on the podcast. And
Hmm.
we just want to take this time to thank you guys for being a part of the J Squared crew. We
Yep.
love y'all. We love the support, and we
More
love
surprises coming soon.
always. And this has been the J Squared Podcast.
Peace.
Boom.